Gargaroth comes in. He's got no blockers. Loving it. Let's get this Hydra Crisis in as well. Let's queue. Oh, we can't. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. Oh, can I not count? Oh, it's only 7. Because of the 2 costs, kid. Oakley dokley. Let's double these counters. Am I right? Our turn. Land. QQ. We have 15, so we cast for 13. Loving it. It's too much, you guys. It's too much. It's too much. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. Today, we're playing with Flash Blanks. This deck revolves around Leyline of Anticipation, which gives all of our spells flash, so we can now engage with our opponent on his turn with non-instant spells, creatures included, which is very cool. So we're flexing on this. We also have incorporated the new card, Elder Gargaroth. This is a 6/6 with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. Whenever it attacks or blocks, choose one, create a 3/3 beast token, gain 3 life, or draw a card. This card is oppressive, however, it's prone to removal, and you need to be playing it against decks without removal only. So a lot of the times it is a dead card or a sideboard card against those decks that don't have the removal. But we want to get around this. We want to flex him in best of 1. So how do we get around the removal? Well, obviously, Leyline of Anticipation, like we just talked about. We're playing it with Flash on our opponent's end step and then immediately attacking for huge damage and value on the back end. So Elder Gargaroth Flash is oppressive. We are wrecking people within Mythic. And I think because it's not a tier 1 deck, people aren't consistently seeing it over and over and over again within the meta. They're not sure how to interact with it. They don't know what cards you're playing next. And wow, we can definitely take advantage of this. So this is an incredibly fun deck. You guys are going to love it. As always, we break down the deck list in its entirety. What do all of the individual cards do? Then we're talking deck strategies and synergies. How do all of those individual cards come together to make a coherent archetype? Then we're going to watch some gameplay footage, looking at any interesting playlines and interactions within the new Core Set 2021 standard meta. Finally, we have my closing thoughts, taking a look at any deck upgrades or alternative build routes, and maybe talking about some future content. So thanks for watching. If you find any value within this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share the channel out to a friend. Flashbang is a Simic-based flash deck starting out with Stonecoil Serpent. This is a 0/0 with Reach and Trample, protection from multicolored, and it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. It's an X cost, so this is really cool. We see a lot of X costs in ramp decks because they're scaling cards. This means this card has relative value early game and only gets better as the game goes on. It's not like you're dropping a 2 converted mana cost 2/2 on turn 8 with 8 available mana once you top decked it, right? You top deck this bad boy, he's coming out as an 8/8 with the appropriate mana backing him, right? So scaling cards are incredibly useful within ramp decks. We have 4 copies of Stonecoil Serpent. Onto our 2-drops now. 4 copies of Growth Spiral. This is already instant speed, so we don't need our Leyline. Draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. This is the most oppressive common card I've ever seen. It's a draw for 2, so okay, that's base value. Plus you get to play an additional land, and it's instant speed. Whatever, bro. 4 copies of Voracious Hydra. This is a 0/1 with Trample, and it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So another really cool scaling card. When Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield, we get to choose one, either doubling the number of +1/+1 counters that we just put onto it, or we can have it fight another target creature we don't control. So a little bit of removal, maybe a little bit of big baddies because he does have Trample. So that's really cool. 4 copies of Hydra Crisis. This is a 0/0 with Flying and Trample. When you cast the spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards round down each time. Hydra Crisis enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So again, this is a similar aspect to the Voracious Hydra where it's scaling up with your mana as you accumulate it. However, instead of it fighting, we get to gain a little bit of life and we get to draw a little bit of cards, right? Split that value down the middle. So this is a great way to replenish your hand late game. On to our 3-drops. We have 4 copies of Cultivate. This is sorcery speed, so now we're talking about incorporating some Leyline activity with it later on. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, and put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand, then shuffle your library. Not only does this make your mid-game more consistent by always having that 4th and 5th land, but you're also thinning your library of lands, so the chance of drawing a non-land permanent is increasing. So that's pretty cool there as well. 4 copies of Vivien, Champion of the Wilds, a legendary planeswalker, coming in with 4 loyalty, a static ability of you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. So this kind of overlaps with our Leyline, but we'll talk about all that later. +1 ability until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gains Vigilance and Reach, and -2, look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you may look at that card and you may cast it as long as it's a creature spell. So make sure that you're exiling the creatures with Vivien's -2 there, not non-creatures. 4 copies of Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. This is a 6/6, and when it enters the battlefield, unless it escapes, you must sacrifice it. When it does enter the battlefield, we're going to gain 3 life and draw a card, and then we get to play an additional land onto the battlefield, which is very neat. The escape cost is 4 plus exiling 5 cards from your graveyard, so it's still a relatively low cost here. We also have 4 copies of Leyline of Anticipation, our first and only 4-drop. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. So, just having that on the battlefield for 0 is incredible value. And then you may cast spells as though they had flash. So that's creature, non-creature. Very cool stuff there. We have 2 copies of Elder Gargaroth. This is another 6/6 with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. Whenever it attacks or blocks, choose one. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. You gain 3 life, or you draw a card. We have 2 copies of Nissa, Who Shakes the World as well. A 5 loyalty planeswalker with a static ability. Whenever you tap a forest for mana, add an additional forest, a +1 ability. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with vigilance and haste. That's still a land. -8, we get an emblem with lands you control have indestructible. Plus, we get to search our library for all of the forests within it. And then we get to put them into play tapped, which is pretty neat. And then we're shuffling our library after that. So Nissa is incredibly impressive. These spells, of course, are accompanied by 7 islands, 9 forests, 4 breeding pools, and a couple Temple of Mysteries, 4 of a kind there as well. So pretty basic deck. It doesn't go too in-depth. Running just Simic colors makes it incredibly consistent, and we've got a lot of draw to back that up as well. We have a lot of land within the deck. One might say too many. However, it's better to have too many land than not enough. There's nothing worse than missing a land drop, right? So that was the deck list. Let's begin to now discuss some of the strategies and synergies we're going to find within this list. We discussed a little bit about scaling already, how important scaling is within a ramp deck, because we are going to be flooding the field with up to 12, 15 lands some games, right? So we can really utilize our Stonecoil Serpent, its scaling ability, the Voracious Hydra's scaling ability, the Krasis scaling ability. So not only do all 3 of these cards scale up in value the later the game goes on, they all 3 have Trample, right? Flying Trample, just Trample, Reach and Trample. This is neat. So even if our opponent has blockers, these guys can scale to a point where they're going to survive combat and crush our opponent's health points. Now, there's no haste on any of them. Again, much like Elder Gargaroth, we're playing them on our end step, so our opponent only has a minuscule or a reduced chance to deal with them. They have to have untapped mana and removal in their hand and be ready to remove it before combat on your turn. So you're really trying to limit the amount of interaction your opponent can have with your creature. So there's no haste on any of these creatures. Obviously, haste and trample is a killer combo, but now we're just using flash and trample, which in my opinion is just as good, if not better, right? So we're scaling all these cards up and crushing our opponent with trample. That's the main win con. Obviously, we just are trying to crush the value engine of Elder Gargaroth as well. Vigilance, trample, reach, draw a card, gain 3 life, create a beast. This does so many things and is good in different matches in different ways, right? If we're running out of cards, we can draw. If it's an aggro match and we need life, we're gaining life, right? And then if it's an empty field and we just want to tempo our opponent out, create that 3/3 and smash down. So Elder Gargaroth is the star of the show. We talked about Vivien overlapping with Leyline of Anticipation. Both her static ability, give your creatures flash, and Leyline gives you flash. It's cool to have 8 cards that do this, because now if it's not in our opening hand and we don't draw one, now we can get a Vivien organically. Now we're still trying to progress down that same strategy route, making it incredibly consistent. If you are lucky enough to have Leyline in play and then you pull a Vivien, we just rock her -2 ability. Lots of the times people have removal for Planeswalkers. They smash them out pretty easily, so she's prone to removal at a higher rate than the Leyline. There's less enchantment removal than there is Planeswalker removal. Example, creatures can't attack enchantments, right? So if she hits the field and you're worried whatsoever, don't try to have her survive, maybe, just to limp it along, and you might have flash. Use the -2 ability and make sure you get a creature for later on, right? Always try to get as much value out of your cards as soon as they enter the field, because if your opponent removes them at a decreased cost, now you've given them maybe only mana advantage, but potentially card advantage as well. So that's pretty gross. Earl, we talked about this. It draws a card, it gains life, it lets you ramp. So it's kind of doing everything, much like Elder Gargaroth does everything. It's not helping you ramp, but at that point you've already ramped. And yeah, that's really it. We try to use our Growth Spiral to flood the field with mana. We use our Cultivate to flood the field with mana. That allows us to hopefully get our Nissa on the field, with increases our mana capabilities, basically doubling it. And then we just smash in with these flashed snakes, if you will, like the Serpent, the Hydra, and the Krasis, with all of our Nissa mana. Boom, tap, and bam, right? I don't know what else to say about this deck, you guys. It's very simple to play. It's very strong. People don't expect it coming at them in the meta. Go get them. I had a ton of fun today. We were crushing people within Mythic, so I have no doubt that you guys are going to be able to easily climb ranked with this new Simic Flash deck. Before all of these cards rotate out of Standard, there's a lot of things. We lose our Nissa. We lose our Hydra Krasis, right? We lose our Voracious Hydra. We lose Growth Spiral. That's going to be a weird life. We lose our Leyline. So there's so many things within this deck that we're losing, that it's just a lot of fun to be able to make use of it while these cards are still around. And then if you like this deck, you don't have the cards, you don't have to be too worried, because these cards will go into Historic. And you know what? This is a deck that's not going anywhere in Historic as well. I try to get that point across from people. Be like, well, we need rotation-proof decks, and yes, I will make those. But don't worry about these decks. If you like them, this deck's going to be there forever. And when you have this deck in your Historic, you're just building off of it, and it's just going to become stronger and stronger as you unlock more cards and more cards come out, etc., right? So thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. We're live on YouTube every morning, 6 a.m. Mountain Standard. At 7 a.m. Mountain Standard, we go live on Twitch, and then we're in the Discord for the remainder of the day. Links for everything in the description below. Thank you so much for your time and attention, all of your financial support, helping the channel grow. Absolutely incredible, you guys. Mwah, thank you so much. Enjoy today's gameplay footage of Leyline Anticipation, Elder Gargaroth. Take care. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to watch to the end so you don't miss out on my closing thoughts. This is our first attempt at recording this deck. We've made it, we've tweaked it, and we're here to demonstrate it. How lucky do we get? I mean, 2 Leylines of Anticipation is a little heavy. That's too much. We run 4 within the deck because consistency, right? It is incredibly unlikely to A, even have 1 in your draw hand, and B, like, we may as well go play the lottery. You know what I mean? So, to have 2 Leylines in off the start is incredible. We obviously don't need the flash from Vivien because we have the Leyline, so let's toss it, and we'll just move on. Hopefully we're top deck lands until our Cultivate, play our Gargaroth with flash, which is what this deck is meant to do. That's my game plan anyways. There's our 3rd land. Loving it! So the fun thing about the Leyline is that we can flash our Serpent in. Got him! Playing more land is great. We have our attacker now for chip damage. Pretty cool, sitting on an instant speed Cultivate. Sometimes I have a lot better luck playing off-meta decks that I just come up with myself, just because the meta's not flooded with them, and you know, Billy and Bob aren't sure how to really interact with them. So it's weird, so they have to kind of tiptoe around my moves. Oh my lord, so much land. We're ready to flash our Elder Gargaroth and play on our end step. Hopefully he doesn't hold up removal, right? That's going to be the only downfall here. Yeah, use your removal on my Stonecoil Serpent. Get that out of your hand. Oh, Claim the Firstborn's pretty cool, right? Like, just such a great card. We have to discard an island here. That's okay. He's gonna sack our own Serpent. Good play. Without a doubt. That's his turn. He'll get one attack point in here. And we're gonna kill the cat. You think he would have learned his lesson the first go-around? We're actually gonna draw a card here, I believe, or should we create a 3-3? I'm down with a 3-3 game. Guaranteed creature, right? The draw would have been the stupid land again. So let's go in there. Let's swing in, baby. And another 3-3. So you can see just how quickly this value can stack up if you can quickly avoid removal through playing it with flash, right? So coming down on the end step or the block phase, as long as they don't have mana, is pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of land in the deck though, or at least within this round it seems. Again, we never want to miss a land drop, that's why the increased amount of land, but we're playing best of one today, so we could maybe potentially trim it down. And Obosh is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Just keep making those beasts, right? Obosh basically has to trade with the Gargaroth. There's no way he can let that keep happening. Really? Woo! Down to 4. Rankle Master of Prisanks. That's pretty cool. Doesn't attack? Interesting. Playing defensively. I like it. Smart man. Let's see what we can top deck here. We've thinned our deck of all of the possible land that could ever exist. Let's take that draw, please. More land. Always more land. Not enough in the grave yet, though. And again, we're all in. I think we're still just making those tokens. We could flex the draw. I get it. We have open land. Probably a good idea. Doesn't want to lose both of his creatures, though, right? And then we still have the 3-3 with Earl coming into play on the back end. Yeah, trample goes through, down to 3, and we have lethal next turn. We're going to be playing our Uro with Flash, because that sent enough cards to the graveyard for us now to bring it out. So, Leyline of Anticipation, Elder Gargaroth representing here today within high 80s Mythic rank. We were playing a lot of jank leading up to this, so we fell from the heavens, if you will, but you know, we're still in Mythic. Here comes our Earl. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And thank you very much. We're gonna get to draw a card here, play our land. What is up with this flood of land? This is incredible. It's a good thing, you know what I mean? That we have such a powerful deck that can support it. We can instant speed Growth Spiral this because of Leyline. And we can also instant speed this for the sauce, right? We have 5, 6, 7, 8. Why not? Woof. Now that is a hot deck. Okay, first game worked out very well. Second game, we have a Leyline again. Only one this time, which means we're not draining our hand for no reason. We're keeping it. It goes into play. That's a 4-drop. A 4 free on turn 1. Whew. I love the Leylines. I wish they see more competitive play. I think I'm going to make a historic Leyline deck just for fun. Mono red could suck though. Like, they could easily beat us up before we get there. Oh no. We need to get our hydras and stuff out. Whoa, this guy's going for it. Fast and hard. I don't know, Billy. Aggro decks in best of 1, am I right? Woo! Dirty dog. I should be doing all of this instant speed, but I'm so frustrated. I want this attack in. That's the last thing I do. Okay, so we can block. No, we can't, because then the... Yeah, no, we can block and then fight. We're gonna take too much damage here, though, still. But then we can do a big Krasis to gain life. Okay, 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 there's the play line. We're getting a little bit frustrated. We should have been doing all of this instant speed because of our ley line. You'll play this deck better than me, don't worry. I get caught up in this aggro mindset. Alright, so let's take a little bit of damage. So let's... Oh! Yeah, we fucked that up. That's fine, though. Let's kill the Spitter. Go into damage. Play our Hydra for 2. And then the Hydra is going to fight. The Dodger, I believe. Just because it can't be blocked. So let's get rid of that. Now we need to tap this Beauty Pie, untap it, and then we're gonna QQ that, right? Gives us a bit 8. We can cast for 6, gain a little bit of life. Let's go in a little bit deeper though, right? And cast it, what is that, 9, 11, 12, so we can cast that for 10. Gain 5 life, drawn a bunch of cards, right? And then we got a nice blocker to take out Obosh if he hits the field. We play a land, that's cool too, right? Stonecold Serpent is a great way to put huge creatures on the field a little bit later on as well. And turn, hello. Good game. Welcome to the show, my friend. Tear of the Peaks. Nice. Okay, how are you dealing with this? Huh. We have another Hydra Krasis. So we can just keep gaining a ton of life, right? Let's see what he does about it. Okay, Krasis goes in first. Huge hit. We should have attacked with everybody. We would have had lethal.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Whoops. What a life to have lived. So he's gonna play Obosh, and it's gonna deal... It's mana or it's power? So it's gonna deal 6 damage to us when Obosh enters. Where did all these Yeah, I think that I didn't do it the way we wanted it to. Right, we should only have 2 islands, so make sure when you do the double Q to tap your lands, it does it correctly. Alright, so we have 11, 13 there, so we could cast it for 11. Which I find to be suitable. Oh, is that wrong? It's saying that we have 2 extra mana. Oh, that's because we clicked the wrong card. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure our opponent appreciates this as much as the next guy. Let's take that scry again. Land to the bottom. Plenty of cards put in our graveyard that now are going to activate our Uro, which is pretty cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't really need our Vivien because we have Leyline. 3 Uros in hand, Hydra. I mean, even for playing so sloppily off the start, I've got no problem with this, right? Sure. Do your worst, bro. Right? Just does double, not triple or anything. We've got blockers. We've got removal. We've got a lot of life gain and a lot of mana, so we're good to go. 34 cards in our library still. Hydra Crisis, as good as it's ever been. You can basically put Hydra Crisis in a deck with Nissa and you're rolling at this point, right? Let's grab some more life. It's just not into it. Oh, take care, friend. Have fun. Okay, so this hand's a little bit more awkward. 2 lands, sure. 3 Viviens. I don't think so. This looks a lot better. We're going to keep it, though, and toss our Crisis. That's more of a late-game drop. I know you're saying, well, isn't the Elder Gargaroth a late-game drop? Yes, but it doesn't need Nissa to become most effective. It just needs to sneak on the battlefield. Land is good. We got the rat for the discard. What do we think? What do we think? What do we think? Black probably has removal. Toss our serpent. We'll spiral right away. Breeding pool in. 2 Viviens still somehow made it into our hand. Gross. Three mana, let's see what he does with it. Bandlurker for another discard. Okay, we got the Vivien for that exact equation.
Back, just like before.
More land, I love it. Take that scry, which we should have done after. Let's leave the land up top, it doesn't matter. We'll say oops. Let's take 1 of each, please. Right, so we should have been scrying now, so we get our next turn set up, because now we're going in blind. We can discard the land here, though, right? We already have 5 on the field. So he needs removal on our Gargaroth. But we're going to try to just hold the land in hand in case we do have to discard. Play our Vivien. He might have a Murderous Rider or something, you right? We're just gonna take the... Oh no, should we -2? He'll kill it. He probably has removal. We have to take the minus. Just so she does receive some value.
Wait, you think nature is kind?
So we have to take our creature spell. That's the only way we really get to cast it. We could cast this for 1. Nah. Let's just drain our mana into it next turn, refill our hand. Alright, we had a little bit of a cat fight. He's Lockthwaining, which is cool. Finds his 5th land, which is frightening. You know, we can flash this Hydroid Krasis in too. It would keep her alive. Nah. Just take it. She
Not
served her
bad.
purpose.
For a mouse.
It's frightening, right? 5 cards in hand, 5 mana untapped on field. Ooh, oh no. Casting this for 5. We get to draw 2, gain 2 life. He's got to remove it. It's all about the draw, though. He needs to find some form of removal. There it is. Sack we do. That's actually like a really good card. Liliana's Triumph. Each opponent sacrifices his creature. Just great. Such a good sideboard card. Even good main board in a lot of decks. Like, that can kill anything. At least we got the draw out of it, right? That was the important part. Buffing his Fenlurker, down to 16, still holds 3 mana up though. Okay, he's tapped, he's tapped, he's tapped. What do we do, what do we do, what do we do?
Seek shelter in my stewardship. The land fights for us.
I doubt that he trades with Lurrus, so let's take it. There's no way he sacks his Lurrus here. This is a juke, right? We're really counting on the fact that he doesn't do that. And now, I think because we don't have anything else, we do go with our Gargaroth. It forces his removal onto it. We keep our forest and Nissa, hopefully, right? And then that will allow us this huge Krasis, which should refill the whole station to go again. Alright, let's see if we can finish this match off here. He did take care of our Gargaroth like we thought. Oh no, he can pump his Fenlurker. I did not think of this. So he gets the kill on the Nissa and we don't get the Krasis out like we wanted to. It's okay, it's okay. Don't fear. Uro is here. Just flooding out, baby. Alright, so he needs more removal. That's fine. We get another draw, another land. Oh my lord, the land in this deck is ridiculous. We don't even need a Nissa for this Krasis soon. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're casting this for 8. Drawing 4 cards is pretty cool. He needs to remove Uro ASAP. Uro is an amazing Simic card. Hydra Krasis is an amazing Simic card. Some of the most busted cards back to back that we've seen in a while. We have 22 life. Do we need to do anything here? Right? Do we do anything but kill this Luris? What could he give it? Death Touch? He could bring it back from the grave and give it Death Touch that way? Question mark? I'm just not 100% sure what the game plan is. I mean, we do have that Hydra Krasis next turn, so regardless, good positioning. He does gain the life, that's helpful. 7 mana. He's got like the -3/-3 enchantments probably, or like that aura, I guess you could call it. Just the Ritual of Soot would have got us anyway, so it's nice to take the block. Fills our graveyard for us again. That's a pretty cool top deck for us. Gorgo. Now we can play on his turn and our turn. I absolutely love it. Spicy. He's got a lot of land, a couple cards. We're positioned to take good advantage of the late game opportunities though. Being that the longer the game goes on, the more value you'll get out of X cost cards like Hydra Krasis. We call these scaling cards. And then they're going to scale up in value the longer the game goes on and the more resources that you collect. So he's going to punch himself in the face here for quite a bit. Whew, 4 damage to the top of the timbers. But it's okay, he's got life gain on the field. We just go for it. Oh, no, I was thinking that was Uro for some reason. I was like, I didn't know he had that much mana. Or cards in the graveyard to escape with. Let's get into there, though. Our turn. More land. We are all about this land, right? So let's double Q. That gives us 11. Let's cast this for 9. Please and thank you. Couple cards into our hand. Loving it. That's a 9/9 in play that he needs to immediately remove. We just gained 4 life. Just drew 4 cards. It's awesome. We should have done that, on his turn through our anticipation, but I just wanted to get things rolling. It would be cool if we could have this on the field while the stack resolves, right? But again, no harm, no foul. Just filling our graveyard. That's his biggest concern right now, is emptying our graveyard, so we can't keep replaying Uro. Okay, a Rankle's pretty cool. Maybe we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. Should have played it Flash, then we could have blocked it. Stonecold Serpent is a huge cast as well. Okay. We can discard our Leyline. He's emptying his hand there too. We've got more life than him. Yeah, he just wants to cycle out. I'm fine with that, bro. Serpent, okay. My turn. Uro is pretty deadly. We're just gonna let him go though. Now we're gonna do this correctly this time. Right, actually utilizing our Leyline of Anticipation rather than just spazzing out because we wanted to draw cards. Which sometimes, yeah, the quest for dopamine triggers is too severe. So if he attacks, we can flash in a Serpent and kill that Rankle, which is a lot of fun. Go ahead. This Liliana's situation is instant as well. So we might have to double down. I'm going to do them each for 4. Yeah. That gives us 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana still. We can Serpent and Uro. We can Uro and Uro. I don't know how good that would be though. Uro can block the Rider. One drawn card, please. Land into the battlefield. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would give us access to 5. Sure. For some reason, we'll pay life. Now he's going to want to probably remove here. We got hit with a Cry, which makes me sad. He probably had that ritual as well, right? So we don't want to play too deep into it. Let's just hold some cards in our hand still. Right? Cleaning the field. We can still play on his end step. Not all of our creatures need to come out onto the field right now. Right, that's really clean trade for us. I like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can cast our Serpent. Right, now this is exactly what we were talking about. So he cleans the field. Very nice, right? He's going to take Uro, right? Let's just put it onto the field then. Get some use out of it, so it's not a dead card. We could have had the 2/2 zombie from it. Might have been beneficial. I think just pressing through our deck is better though. We're down to 26. He's at 41. Basically wasted his turn. Well, I mean, not really. He did a lot. He dealt with the field. He's dealing with our hand. Or like a lot of our game plan here. We cast it for 1, double to 2. Cast this for 3. Let's play Vivien. Why not? Just kind of spread the threat.
Beasts are much more reliable.
My turn. There's the draw. Oh yeah, baby. Let's just take our minus since we have flash through Leyline.
Starting over's the
Here's
only
our
way.
Gargaroth. This is exactly what we wanted. Passing our turn. Beautiful. And the power of this deck is actually pretty surprising. I've had this idea for a few days and I've been kind of throwing it around, like how am I going to make this work? And it was easier said than done. Well, no, easier done than said. I didn't struggle at all is what I'm meaning to say. Lockthwain, he's going to kill himself again here. Looking for answers. He knows he's outplayed. Right, as soon as we started casting on his turn, this game was over. He's got 2 mana. This is still a game somehow. We have plenty of mana as well, I guess. Gargaroth comes in. He's got no blockers. Loving it. Let's get this Hydra Crisis in as well. Let's queue. Oh, we can't. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. Oh, can I not count? Oh, it's only 7. Because of the 2 cost, kid. Okily dokily. Let's double these counters. Am I right? Our turn. Land. QQ. We have 15, so we cast for 13. Loving it. It's too much, you guys. It's too much. It's too much. Why wouldn't we give this guy vigilance? You know what I mean?
Walk away.
Make a beast, I guess. Woo! Alright, so when you're using Elder Flash Gargaroth, you can anticipate a higher win rate than with some of the other decks in the meta. This is because it's an unused deck, it's brand new, people aren't using it, so you can really catch them off guard and take advantage of those opportunities. There's a lot of value within the deck, so it's very easy to out-push someone, much like a teammate Rec would, without Wilderness Reclamation. If you can believe it or not, I actually started this deck with a copy of Wilderness Reclamation in it, and we were trying to make that work, but I think just the straight-out ramp value is better than trying to double down on your mana. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this channel out to a friend, and hit that bell icon so you're notified of all our future uploads. And don't miss our Magic the Gathering Arena Guide for Beginners. We've got a playlist. Check it out. We're going through A to Z, everything that you're going to want to know, get you up on your feet and swinging in the arena with fighters like myself. So thanks for watching. Take care. I really appreciate your time and attention. The financial support is absolutely incredible, you guys. Thank you so much. Do take care, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow, 6 a.m. on YouTube, and then we'll go from there. Take care.